So when we are analysing this split jerk, we are going to be taking 5 images of the positions that we find in our split jerk. So the first one is the start position. Then we're going to be taking a look at the lowest point that the athlete dips to before we go into maximal extension, the receive position and the finish position. So this is slightly different to the snatch and the clean. So the start position is very similar. It's the one frame before the athlete goes into their dip. So we are going to the point which is here. I will take a screen grab of that image there. The next image is going to be the dip position, which is the lowest point the athlete reaches in that dip position. Okay, so I am looking to control down, which is here, because if I go any further, the athlete now starts to extend. So this image here is going to be the bottom part of my dip. I then go into maximal extension, which is the last frame where both feet are still in contact with the floor. So I drive up to see at what point those feet move. So this image here, both feet are in contact. Both feet are in contact there. I will take a screen grab before I go into the receive position, which is the point at which the barbell is stabilized in the split position. So we can let that flow, and the position is here. Yeah, there. Take a screen grab. And then the last one is the finish position, the last frame before the barbell is dropped from overhead. And that is this position here. And I will just take a screen grab there. Perfect. So from those images now, I'm going to put that into my key performance indicator and assess each position and the KPIs for each of those positions. I've now added the images from the split jerks, from the split jerk video into the checklist. Okay, so we've got one image per section. So we've got the start position, the dip position, maximal extension, receive, and the finish. Okay, and I've done this already, but what I've done is I've just gone through this movement, ticking and crossing the areas that I have seen or not seen in this lift. Okay, so for example, the bar is resting across the clavicle notch, which is against the shoulders, so obviously that is there, so I've ticked that off. The weight is distributed in the midfoot through the dip position. Now I can see here that that heel is ever so slightly lifting, okay, just because you can see that black area between the heel of the shoe and the platform, so I've just given that a cross. And I've gone through, giving myself a tally of incorrect out of incorrect. So I've got 17 correct areas out of a possible 19 correct areas. Now, once you've done this, you then look back at this and find the areas that you need to work on. Okay, so here this dip position, I am more towards the toes. Okay, yes, I've managed to correct this. Okay, but knowing that this was at 125, 130, but I failed my 135. This here is probably down to the fact that the weight is in the toes. Okay, so my trajectory is going to be off. I'm going to be driving everything forwards and reducing the maximal power that I can generate through the extension phase of the lift. So that is a highlighted area that I really need to work on. Now, if this is similar to you, a movement that's really useful here is a jerk dip. Okay, so a jerk dip is literally a heavy bar, 100 to 120% of your 1 rep max in your front rack position, and we're just going to go through that dipping phase of the lift. Now that's going to really try and reinforce sitting back onto the heels, keeping the weight through the midfoot as we go through, or as we initiate that dip and drive. Okay, and again, another area that was incorrect here was during the receive position. Now, with areas in the receive position, something that's really, really good for that is just adding in a pause in the receive. Okay, so whether the front knee is tracking forwards or that the back foot is flat on the floor, or very similar to me, the center of the shoulder joint should be behind the bar. Okay, what I would really do here is just pause in the receive. So once I've got into my splits in my next sort of training block, I would just add in that 3-second pause. Okay, and what you're going to do in that 3-second pause is try and realign yourself to that perfect receive position. Okay, now hopefully you'll start to do that high volume and probably less intensity. And as that program builds, you might start to reduce that pause or try and hold that pause for as long as you can as you build the percentages back up to your 1 rep max. And hopefully then you'll be able to correct those areas in that receive position. Okay, so hopefully this has helped you just extract a little bit of information on the areas that you can use to improve your split jerk technique. Okay, so and obviously this is going to really help us sort of build out your next sort of training program. If you've got any questions, drop them down below, and I'm happy to sort of give you some advice on where to go from there.